And when it's happening repeatedly, it's something that we really need to address.
Walking up to your doorstep and stealing whatever's there. One Colorado lawmaker is working to keep pirates away from your porch.
We need to be taking into account package delivery as a part of our lives now, and we really need safe places to have our packages delivered, built right into our new buildings.
Plus, why a judge has ordered the arrest of Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters. And President Biden provides reassurance to Israel on his first tour of the Middle East as commander-in-chief.
We will not, let me say it again, we will not allow Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon.
Good morning and thank you for watching Denver 7 News at 11. I'm Jessica Crawford. We begin this morning with a live look over the Mile High City. It'll be another hot day. It's going to be the high 90s across Colorado. Just gorgeous. Not a cloud in the sky right now. The storms could creep up this afternoon. We have team coverage on the weather this morning, including a deeper look at why today's an ozone action day. So let's get started with meteorologist Stacey Donaldson.
Hey there, yes, we had a high of 99 degrees yesterday. It's already heating up quickly here for the Front Range and even about 10 degrees warmer across the eastern plains. We're sitting at 88 degrees at DIA. Temperatures in the 70s up in the higher elevations, and our forecast highs today again will be in the upper 90s. But the difference from yesterday to today is we'll have a chance for afternoon thunderstorms. They will be isolated, but they'll be moving through for the afternoon and into the evening. So we'll have mid to upper 90s here along the I-25 corridor. We'll have 101 for Sterling today, and then up in the higher elevation 60s and 70s. So as we go through the next 24 hours, it's going to be pretty warm. And our average afternoon high this time of year is 90 degrees, but the record is 100. So we will be closer to that this afternoon with those highs. Also, an air quality warning here for the Front Range, and that's until 4 o'clock this afternoon. We're keeping an eye on the high ozone levels here for our area and parts north. We'll talk about how long this hot weather is going to stick around coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Stacey. And as we mentioned, Colorado health officials have put an ozone action day into effect for the Front Range. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta breaks down what exactly that means, plus the new lawsuit claiming Colorado's efforts to fix its air quality problems aren't enough.
CDPHE officials aren't the only ones who think that smog is really bad. The Center for Biological Diversity thinks it's so bad, it's actually worth suing over. This group says the state can be doing a lot more to limit oil and gas drilling. Ultimately, it wants the EPA to really start cracking down on the state's ozone violations, so much so that the group decided to file for that lawsuit. It's against the EPA to, quote, force it to require Colorado to limit pollution from drilling and hydraulic fracturing for oil and methane gas in the metro Denver area. The group says it believes we will never solve that smog problem unless the EPA puts an end to unlimited air pollution and drilling and fracking. The lawsuit does target the EPA for not requiring Colorado to account for ozone contributions by minor sources of pollutants or from temporary sources either. In the lawsuit, the group went on to say not only do those practices hurt our health, but they also hurt the environment as well, specifically our aspen trees. In Lakewood, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Veronica, thank you. And you can always get the latest ozone alerts and weather forecasts right on your streaming device. Just download the Denver 7 app. You can also get the weather 24/7 on thedenverchannel.com. Suncor wants to increase the amount of pollutants it can release from its refinery in Commerce City. This week, the division is seeking public feedback before submitting the plan to the EPA. That plan would up the toxic pollutants by 90 tons. While some want the permits approved, environmentalists say Suncor's production already disproportionately impacts low-income people of color.
Acts of environmental racism are still racist, no matter how many permits are required for them.
Suncor is a big part of our domestic production and making Colorado an energy exporter and contributing to our nation's energy independence.
State regulators emphasize the permit will be issued as long as it complies with state and federal law. A decision is expected in the fall. A warrant is now out for the arrest of Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters. This morning, a judge ordered Peters to be arrested for violating conditions of her bond. Peters is prohibited from traveling out of the state after being indicted back in March for allegedly tampering with election equipment. The judge discovered Peters was out of state after she filed a letter to the Colorado Secretary of State's office that was notarized in Nevada. That letter was asking for a recount for the Secretary of State bid that Peters lost. And just yesterday, it was announced that a former elections manager for Peters was indicted on multiple felony charges. Sandra Brown turned herself in on suspicion of conspiracy to commit criminal impersonation and attempting to influence a public servant. San Luis Valley DA Alonzo Payne is resigning. Governor Jared Polis has appointed Attorney General Phil Weiser as the interim DA for the 12th Judicial District. Earlier this week, it was announced that an independent monitor would oversee Payne's office after finding he violated victims' rights. Denver 7 investigates found those included questionable plea deals and failures to follow up with crime victims.
Officers did return fire, striking one individual who went down at that location.
Denver police shot a person overnight in the Globeville neighborhood. Officers were following a car after someone called 911 about people with weapons. When the car stopped, police say the people inside started shooting at them. The officers returned fire and hit one person. That person is in critical condition. No officers were hurt. 3 others were arrested. This morning, actor Kevin Spacey pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of sexual assault in London. Spacey's also facing 1 count of causing a person to take part in a sexual activity without consent. The accusations date back almost 20 years. WNBA star Brittany Griner appearing in court outside of Moscow this morning, and the hearing ended without a verdict. Griner was first arrested 4 months ago after police claimed they found vape cartridges containing hash oil in her luggage outside of an airport. She has pled guilty. A 4th hearing in her trial has been scheduled for tomorrow morning. Today, Russian missiles hit a city center in central Ukraine. At least 20 people were killed. That includes 3 children. 90 more were injured. Ukraine's president spoke of the attack this morning.
Houses were destroyed. A medical center was destroyed. The cars and trams were on fire. This is the act of Russian terror. People couldn't do this. They are animals. 8 rockets, 2 of them targeted the city center.
President Zelensky is calling today's attack an open act of terrorism. Today, President Biden met with the Prime Minister of Israel on his tour of the Middle East. Both the president and the Prime Minister came together to release a joint declaration pledging to never allow Iran to have nuclear weapons. Today, the president will also meet with the president of Palestine before boarding a plane to become the first American president to fly from Israel to Saudi Arabia. Commerce City is warning residents to make sure their car tags are up to date. Starting this Sunday, police will be keeping an extra eye out for vehicles with expired plates and tags. Last month, Douglas County and cities like Parker and Lone Tree also stepped up vehicle registration enforcement. To check if your car is up to date, visit mydmv.colorado.gov. Inflation didn't keep consumers away from Amazon Prime Day. Early estimates suggest Americans spent more than $7 billion over the 2 days, which is a 16% increase from last year. Now let's hope those packages actually arrive. Denver is one of the worst cities in the nation for package theft. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon spoke with one lawmaker who's hoping to fix that.
It was Representative Alex Valdez who calls package theft one of the most pervasive kinds of petty crime in the entire city. What he wanted to see done was a refundable tax credit up to $75 for people who have had a package stolen. Now that money would have gone toward purchasing a lockbox of sorts, but the bill ultimately failed. Representative Valdez does tell me if he brings it back again, it's going to be the exact same. The representative says one of the requirements for the tax credit was to file a police report when a package is stolen. He wanted to see that happen because he says there's not a lot of data when it comes to porch pirates. Of course, some of the ways you can protect yourself are tracking a package when it's out for delivery and having a doorbell camera. But Representative Valdez also recommends having somewhere delivery drivers can try to hide a package, and even thinks it should change how we look at new construction.
As we're building new homes in the future and doing new buildings, we need to be taking into account package delivery as a part of our lives now. And we really need safe places to have our packages delivered, built right into our new buildings.
Representative Valdez says he knows how it feels to have a package stolen, and it actually got so bad in his previous neighborhood, he started having packages delivered to a different location, kind of just defeating the whole point of ordering things online in the first place. Now, it can really happen to any package. Thieves, they're looking for the valuables, so be on the lookout if you did order anything on Prime Day. But of course, it can happen to almost any kind of package. I had a friend have a birthday cake stolen off of his front porch that his mom got for him to try and celebrate from a distance. So really, be vigilant right now. In Denver, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Cannot be too careful with those packages. Well, sometimes it's kind of awkward to talk about yourself, but Denver 7 has possibly found a new home. Last year, our parent company, EW Scripps, sold our current building at the corner of Spear and 6th. And now our new home could now be this spot in Denver's Rhino neighborhood. The building is off Delgany and was originally a WeWork site that never opened. Our general manager is working through the details to get a lease signed on the building. If that goes through, KMGH could operate out of that new location by the end of next year. We'll keep you posted. And still ahead on Denver 7 News at 11, filtering out the bad. TikTok is making sure teens aren't watching content that could be potentially harmful. And Colorado is rolling out new grants to help homeowners rebuild after some of our biggest disasters. Plus, more chaos at the airport. First, it was delays and cancellations. Now people are stuck trying to find their luggage.
Every day that I check, it says that it is being traced and to check back later. And I've been doing that now every day for 13 days.